talk about Blade Runner 2049. I decided tonight this is one of the best sequels ever made. Ever made. It's
pretty good.
I'll talk more about that later. But I'm your co-host, Mike Collin, as always I'm joined by Champion.
Hi, Mike. How's it going?
How's it going?
It's going all right.
Thanks
I just
for-
watched Blade Runner 2049.
And?
We'll talk about it in a minute.
Oh.
Things are
Still processing
things
it?
are going on.
First
up
time
here.
ever seeing it?
First time.
Sweet.
Time.
All right, Lord Ian, is this your first time seeing it?
Yes, I'm the first time I'm seeing it as well.
Wow. Okay, and how many times have you seen the original Blade Runner?
The whole thing, 0. I've seen the beginning several times and the end several times.
The
I've
TJ
TJ'd
method.
it.
Yeah,
You weren't there for the
TJ'd
other
it.
showing?
No, I went out with my prof,
Oh, yeah.
and then I showed up for the end
I thought you were there.
That's one way to do it.
We should've
Okay.
been watching.
where he's stabbed in the hand.
Heather.
Hi, it's me again. I'm
Yes.
here.
I know this is like a What the Trek crossover, right?
Oh my gosh. What is this, a crossover
I know, right?
episode? So many Ians at the table.
Too
It's
many.
great.
Too many.
Is this your first time seeing this film?
I think this is my second time seeing it.
Okay.
'Cause I think I watched it when it came out. Because my brother liked the first Blade Runner.
Sure.
We watched a lot of like those classic movies. And then he wanted to go
Right.
see it. So I watched it with him. I was a little bit younger then. Oh, well, not
I guess
that
we
much
all
longer.
were, yeah.
A little
I watched
younger.
that film when I was older.
What year did this movie come out?
Like
2018?
2018,
That's what I was
2017,
Yeah, so
Yeah.
not that long.
which to us feels like yesterday.
Yeah.
Like 2017. Like
Yeah, like I thought. Can we screen this? Because I think it might still be in theaters.
yeah, it's
but-
I know, right?
Yeah.
The only thing was like it was pre-COVID. That's all that
Yeah.
matters.
Oh, was it?
That's
But
the
it
thing
still
is that like
feels
it came
new.
out so new enough that I'm like, I know I watched it like when it came out, like pretty recently, so it must have been in theaters. But I feel like the vibe is that I watched it in my living room. So
What if it
I
just
don't
always
remember.
existed? It's always existed throughout time.
Whoa.
So yeah, well, okay. So we talked about the original when we reviewed it. My friend Jordan got me into the original. I'd seen it when I was a kid, but I forgot about it, and he really drove it into my head how good it was, and I really grew to love the original. Okay, so when the sequel came out, it was a big deal for me and my friend group, and I remember going to the theater with a group of maybe 5 guys, and we all were obsessed with the original. But I think the general consensus was that we thought this one was better. And my infamous roommate, who I made a short film about, is obsessed with Blade Runner. And she hated this movie so much she couldn't finish it.
Are you serious?
Yes.
I disagree.
Yeah. But I think I've talked to a handful of people tonight, and they also think this is better than the original.
I
Heather?
like this one a lot. I thought it was a little bit better than the original, and it feels bad to say because normally like the original is like always better. Like,
Right.
oh, that's the original, it's so good, and like the other ones are good, but I don't know. Like I like this one better. I felt like I could follow the plot a lot better. Like the scenes moved a little bit easier, but like all the vibes were true. And like the thing that you guys talked about in the like first Blade Runner was that like the direction got a little lost sometimes, and sometimes this like the scene order felt a little like, wait, how did we get
Right.
here?
Yeah.
Right.
But like you're like the vibes, like the concept, the cinematography, like everything was so solid, and that's what held it together, right? Kind of like Tron, right? Like the concept is so true that like it meshes out any sort of weird stuff with the plot. And this one has all the same vibes, but a much more solid like throughout
Yes.
plot.
Yes.
It makes the first Blade feel like the prequel to this movie. Sometimes.
Yeah, I could see that.
Tron comes up more often than we think in these.
Well, it was
It's-
the same year. Was it the same week? Like these movies. Okay, if you go, there's like a period in 1982 when like Tron, Blade Runner, Star Trek 2,
E.T. probably.
E.T. all came out in the same like
Yeah.
month. It was The Thing. They all came out in the same period. I might be off by a year. Didn't E.T. come out in 83?
Maybe.
I think my
But
brain,
this happened
Yeah.
yeah.
like every year in the 80s
Yeah.
for a little bit. There's
Yeah.
just
There was this
stacked,
period.
stacked,
Just something
stacked.
crazy.
And despite what Quentin Tarantino thinks, the 80s was a great period
Yeah.
for
I just
for
feel like
movies.
Tron was not a very good movie, but the vibes were
Yeah.
so intense. It was felt decades
I agree.
into the
Yes.
future. Like everybody still thinks about it. Be
Yes.
like, what happened in that movie? I don't know, but like the colors
vibe.
were so
Yeah.
crazy. It was awesome.
And one day they will make a good Tron film.
One day it'll happen.
They haven't done it yet, but
There's something there.
right, there's
In
something
all
there.
possible worlds, there's a good Tron
There's a
movie.
good
Yes.
Tron movie.
exists.
Okay.
Somewhere.
I
We
believe
just need to
that.
get there. Someone
I'll
get
believe
me
it
into
when I
that
see it.
dimension
One
right
day,
now. It's going to be so good when it happens. I know it.
Okay, champion, you got to tell us.
Yes.
This is your first time seeing
First
2049.
time. Yeah.
Give us your impression.
I went into this film encouraged because I heard that it was good. I'd
Yeah.
heard some people say, I think it's better than the original. I'm never the sequel guy. I resist sequels for any reason. This dunked on the original. It isn't just better. It is in a different class.
Yes.
It's a different class of movie in every single
Wow.
way. For the reasons that you said, like primarily, because
Yeah.
the original Blade Runner was a visual treat. And I enjoyed watching it on that level. But you could ask me now to re-review Blade Runner and I would have nothing to say aside from the visuals. I can't remember what happened in it.
Yeah.
I remember there being a horse galloping for
Yep.
some reason. I remember there being some origami things, and that's about it. This had a consistent plot, a story you could follow, a through line. It had an emotional center. It had all the characters were spectacular. It was
Questions of humanity and moral.
yes. This was a tour de force.
Yes.
It was fantastic.
And as I was watching it, because I've seen it like maybe almost 10 times now, not only was it a great movie, if you stripped away all the visuals and all the sci-fi, it's still
still
a
a good
great
movie.
Still
movie.
good.
Yeah.
If it was just a detective investigating a story, it's fucking great. The way that the story builds and builds and builds and on top of itself, like, and I remember when I saw it in the theater about halfway through when Kay thinks when he gets the memory and he thinks, oh, this is me. I remember thinking, oh, that can't be the movie. That can't be the twist. That can't be. That's anticlimactic, and of course it's not. That's only like the halfway point.
Yeah.
We're gonna go on a whole other journey, right? And but
even getting there, I thought that was very effective.
It was.
right?
It was
Yeah.
great.
Oh, shit,
Yeah.
is it him? Is it
Right.
not him?
Yeah.
Either
Yeah.
way, it's great.
it was still good, but what they ended up doing was even better. I thought, right? Like this movie touches on so many different themes of. First of all, it parallels the current situation in the United States with the class system there of immigration, illegals, right? And the status of certain people, the fact that Kay is a traitor to his own people because he is a cop that's hunting down other replicants. There's the theme of him having a soul or not having a soul, and then this is the thing I noticed this time around is how perfectly constructed the script is, where there's like parallels and like repetition of images. Where, for example, the first time you see, or I think it's when he's investigating and he sees that the kid's born, there was a boy and a girl. And he's like, well, they can't possibly have the same DNA. And in the very next scene is the part where Joy doubles up with the prostitute, right? And then later on, I think it's the part. Oh shit! I'm gonna forget it. But there was another. Oh, I know what it is. It's after Deckard sees the duplicate Rachel, and then it's like her eyes were green, and then they just shoot her in the back of the head, and she dies. The very next scene is then Joe walking on that bridge, and he looks up and he sees the other Joy.
Yeah.
Right here, which was introduced only halfway through the movie, and you go, wait a minute, all these other AI girls look exactly like her, so it's a weird idea to introduce that they're all the same. But in this movie, the interesting thing is that when Deckard sees the duplicate Rachel, he's like, nah, her eyes were green, and he rejects it. But Joe looks up and sees Joy, and he takes this generic bullshit almost like advertisement of what does she say to him? Something like, you.
She's like, what a day.
Yeah.
Which is something she said
You
earlier.
look like a good Joe.
Yeah, you look like a good Joe. And he
Yeah.
takes that bullshit message as inspiration. The gun comes out. No, I'm going to take my life to my own hands. And then he sets the last third of the movie in his own direction. It's fucking great,
Yeah.
man. Oh,
This like moment of like deciding to want something real.
Yes. It's incredible. It's incredible. Lord Ian, what do you think?
I think that this was a brilliant movie. I've read a lot of Philip K. Dick, who's the story "Do Electric Sheep Dream?"
Do androids dream?
Do
of electric
androids?
sheep?
Yes,
Electric
thank
Sheep,
you. I always
yeah.
forget the title. I haven't read that one, but I've read my fair share. And his writing's always like couched in a philosophical question. Like there's a question at the heart of it, and Denis captured that really well, and then couched it in these beautiful sets, beautiful writing, beautiful pacing, right? This is a 3-hour movie that feels less time than Spider-Man 3.
Earns the 3 hours.
Right. So, like, it is all well couched. There was one line that, like, stuck out to me. It was like, who makes the memories, right? I might be misquoting that, but who makes the memories? And it's like, well, like, and he was asking very pragmatically, but then you ask yourself, well, who makes your memories? Who makes your memories, right? Do I make your memories, or do you make your memories about me, right? Like, how does that work, right? So,
Well, and also how easy are they to fake?
Yeah.
Right. And how real are they, and what makes us real, and what defines a living thing?
Yeah.
and the
What
soul
is
and
the
all that.
value of a soul, right? Because there's a line from the boss like, you've been doing well without one.
That's a great line.
And
That's a good line.
And it's like, well, yeah, you're seeing this as a purely transactional relationship. He sees his whole life, right? She's seeing clips of this life that doesn't. It's like, well, you do your job well, and you don't mouth off. You're doing great without a soul, and it's like, who are you to say?
Yeah, and she's like taking this like as a like service to her.
Yeah.
There's like one scene where like I don't want to like assume the subtext, but she's like in his apartment and they're talking about stuff, and she's like, "What would happen if I like drank the rest of this?
If I finish this drink,
yeah, if I finish the rest of this."
That was like hanging in the
Yeah.
air. As soon as she said, I think we all knew what she meant.
Yeah.
And then he said, "I think I should get back to work," or whatever he says.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't I need to get back
like,
to
don't
work?
I? Should I? Get
And
back
she's
to
just like, "Fuck you," then, and she gets up. That was great.
Yeah, it was just
that's
like,
what I mean.
oh.
This is like classic Hollywood in a good way screenwriting, where every line is perfect and every line fits in with everything.
It was so good.
Right. And you know, in a world where so many movies now are just corporate, like there's so much interference from corporations, especially on a franchise.
Yeah.
How lucky we are that they just let Denis Villeneuve do what he wanted. And this is the original screenwriter from Blade Runner. This isn't some
Oh, is
bullshit.
it?
Yeah.
Oh.
This is the original guy. He came back and wrote this. So
I'm
this is
glad
not
that he was able
bullshit.
to like rewrite it, because I feel like I definitely got the vibe that like this is like sort of the true intention of the original like themes and the
Yeah,
original
absolutely.
concept like come to full life. So I'm glad that he was able to see
It
that
certainly
through.
feels like that.
Yeah.
And it's an interesting contrast when you look at films like George Lucas's Star Wars sequels, or prequels rather, where all the changes were made in the special effects area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is one where they kept the special effects the way that they were. They kept the vibe,
Great
they kept the visuals,
point.
and they went back and they fixed the problem with the movie, which was the story.
You're
yeah,
right. You're right.
So true. Yeah.
And it's fascinating that this even got made, considering it is an existing property. And that's exactly the sort of thing that you could see corporate just sinking their teeth
Right.
into, saying, how can we milk as much cash out of this as we possibly
Yeah.
can? Explosions.
Yeah, but also like it not that like the original Blade Runner, like it definitely like it was popular, like it had a cult following, but like at the time, like I'm not sure like was anybody really demanding a second Blade Runner
30 years
Like,
after the
To be
fact.
true, to be serious, no.
right? Like someone just decided to do that. It wasn't like, oh, this is like the super major thing that like
Right.
everybody was into and everybody wants more, and this is 100% gonna get us money. Like someone just decided like we can do more with with this.
It's more like Tron. It was a cult hit.
Yeah.
And that was it. And then 30 years later, they decided to make a sequel. And that's
Yeah.
it. You're right. And like,
Which makes it even more interesting that this was made so well because nobody was asking for it. It
Yeah.
was just an existing property.
yeah,
I'm shocked that somebody didn't fuck this up.
Yeah.
totally right. Yeah.
But I think the source material, like even loosely, right, in Android's Dream of Electric Sheep, right, Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, is just that strong. Like Philip K. Dick's writing is powerful, right, and it kind of transcends time in the form of eras, right? Like it is not very much of the 1920s, right? Like some sci-fi is. It is still very timely today because the questions are still relevant, right? What are androids? Like, what is the value of a soul? Like I said earlier, right? And all of these questions still need the answers, right? Yeah. And this is just Villeneuve's take on it.
That's so true. Like the original Blade Runner, like for all of its faults, it still had like a heart and a soul at the bottom of it. And like the first Tron movie was like, what if we went inside the computer?
What if I'm God in the computer?
Get inside of that program.
Why does God need a computer?
Well,
I was also with this movie, like the original was, it kind of invented cyberpunk, right?
oh yeah.
And this movie leans a little bit more into the Western genre, I feel like the opening of the film.
I was going to say film noir.
Oh, of course.
Okay.
It was film noir too.
Yeah.
I'm saying this one, with him flying over that farmland, and then we come into Dave Bautista. You know who Dave Bautista is, right?
Do I? The wrestler.
So he is a wrestler, but he's also, you haven't seen Guardians of the Galaxy, have you?
No.
Okay.
It's a Glass Onion.
Okay. So he's Drax in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Glass Onion? I've seen Glass Onion? No. Okay.
He's a great actor, but that whole opening scene, just the way that Dave Bautista is introduced and the way that he comes into his house and Kay is just sitting there. This is a Western. This is the good, the bad, and the ugly. And he's come here to arrest him.
Yeah.
And the way that they are just slowly talking to each other. And then it gets elevated the moment they smash through the wall. And you're like, hey, these guys up until this point seemed human, but clearly they're not. And are punching each other and just the introduction of the little maggots or with little puns, whatever they are. It's the protein, just the details. And then after he kills him, he goes out and he's just telling that drone thing to take pictures of everything. And then the day is just, the mission is just about to be wrapped up because that he just notices it's a tree, right? Is it the tree? The flower by the tree. The flower by the tree. No, the flower comes later, isn't it?
No.
Okay, I was wrong.
That's the yellow flower on the ground.
That's right. Okay.
The vegetation.
Okay.
Because it seems like a memorial grave.
Yeah.
And I was like,
to get tree.
Right. Considering the original Blade Runner was a film noir, which is technically detective subgenre. There's only like one scene of detecting, really, and that's when he's looking at the picture and he's like, zoom in to section 39, he's zooming again. That's the only scene in the movie. In this movie, he does a lot of detection. And that's the first instance where first it's the tree and the flower. Then they see the number on the skeleton.
Yeah.
And the keystone, the keystone.
It is detective stuff. I also like in the beginning of that movie, it's like a really clear thing. I like this universe in the way that it's like, it's futurism, but also like
Retro.
see like a weird like wealth disparity and stuff where like Kay comes in on a flying car and he lands and he tells the like automatic hyper-intelligent drone on the top of his car to like go around pictures. And he walks in and this guy has like a gas place.
Yeah.
Oh, that he's cooking eggs on in a pot and like an old ass snake. What?
Yeah. And the only thing in there for entertainment is an upright piano.
Yeah.
Right.
I love this like
a very ancient household, right? Like pre-radio, pre-TV, just like a chair, piano,
And
But it does like feel like that's what the technology will keep advancing, but it will not advance for everybody.
that's a very good point. Now, aesthetically, as far as the art design of the film, you mentioned Star Wars, okay? When George Lucas made the prequels, one of the biggest complaints I think we had was that even though they take place 20 years before the original film, somehow the technology is all better. Boom. Now, Star Trek did something even worse, which is they just made films and TV shows set in the exact same time as the original show, but made the technology infinitely better, right? Like the Kelvin timeline, all of a sudden, it's in the same time period as Kirk and Spock, but they have,
It's all like different.
yeah, like floating graphics in 3D. Now, that's a choice.
In my mind, I like to be like, well, because the timeline was altered and stuff is different. And that's what I do to let myself go to bed.
Sure.
I've got similar ones where it's like the original Star Trek TOS are like, they're just in a retro phase.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
just made the bridge look
That's
old
what
in
we
60s.
were-
They were into
I'm
that.
bringing it back. This is how I'm bringing it back to Star Trek. They're just talking about what the Trek, how like they had this thing where like stuff happened at the Christmas party, and they're like, "Why is there a Christmas party?"
Yes.
They never talk about that at all. But I like to think that like they just have moments where they're like, "What if we just started celebrating Christmas?"
Yeah.
This Earth tradition.
Well, I mean,
Kitschy and retro.
I know we can't keep going though. We got to bring it back to Blade.
yeah, but there's nothing wrong. Okay, nothing inherently wrong with what Star Trek did. However, when Disney did Rogue One and Gareth Edwards was director, he's like, no, screw this. I want you guys all to have long hair and mustaches because you have to look like the actors in A New Hope.
Yeah.
And they made Rogue One look exactly like A New Hope. And all the Disney sequels and prequels pretty much have that retro futurism. And this movie does that to the nines, where he's looking through and looks like microfilm. It doesn't look like Google, right? Like it looks like there's like
when they're scanned, like when they're examining the DNA,
Yes.
it's like, oh, the files are corrupt, you have to do it manually. And they're just looking back and forth. And it is actual film.
yeah,
Because the way that they compare them is that they move them
yes,
so they overlap.
physically move us.
So the light shines through the boat.
And they had a good explanation for it too. They're like, "Oh, the blackout happened.
Right.
Remember what you were doing with the blackout?" And he was like, "Right, because I was a replicant, right?" He was like, "I was doing this, and we were blacked out for 10 days." It was like, and then like you're going into like this old research thing, right? And here we pulled up the DNA thing for this person, right?
Yeah, the way they were meant to do like so much like basically world moving exposition, like everything is changed.
Seamless.
Make it still feel like the same world, like to the moment. And
Yeah. And
And calamity.
some of the world made it through, and a lot of the world didn't.
yeah,
And it takes place in both.
Yeah.
Sorts
Yeah, and like exposition, I'll always allow to be a little clunky, right? Like we just gotta get through it. That's okay, right? Yeah. It's a pothole, right? But this is just so seamless. Like it's just like casual conversation as you walk, right?
yeah.
Yeah, with that scene where we're talking about the blackout.
Yeah. And it can be seamless because they just have that thing right in the beginning with all the text. This is what's going on. We can bring that back sometimes. Just give me like one paragraph.
Yeah.
This is what's going on. Okay, it's done.
Exactly.
Let's do it.
Yeah. I also think, okay, now to be objective, that the exposition I would give like a 10, not a 9.9 out of 10. There's only one line in the whole movie that might have been overdubbed in post. Now, there's a trope in Hollywood, and I don't know if you've noticed it, where they'll finish the episode or they'll finish the movie, and there'll be something that's not fully explained. And what they'll do is they'll go back and they'll overdub a line.
Yeah.
And what they'll do is they'll cut to a reaction or they'll cut to something.
Yeah, so they're not missing.
Right. And they did it in, I think it was Spider-Man, one of the movies where, I think it was in 3, which we just watched, where Willem Dafoe was giving a speech. And there's one line they wanted to add in later. And they cut to Harry Osborn listening. And it's like you can hear the voice. All of a sudden, it's a different tone. Right? And they do this in every Hollywood TV show. And there was one line in this, and that's when he's in the room looking at the microfilm or microfiche, and then she says, see, I always told you it was special. And then she's the one that built up the horse. And I don't know, she says, the horse, what's the number at the bottom? 6, what was whatever the number was. She says it out loud. And I felt like if this, like a 10 out of 10 didn't need to say, 10 out of 10, they just rotated and we go, oh shit. But it's like the studio probably like, just overdid that one line. Okay, I can forgive that.
Yeah.
I can forgive that. But like I said, 9.9 out of 10.
Yeah, I didn't notice that
Yep.
at the time.
Yep.
Right? Being my first time seeing it, whatever, trying to take it all in. Now that you're mentioning that, yeah, that does, in retrospect,
Right.
come across as a little clunky.
Right. But it's like,
Like not the sort of thing that a real person would say, because
Right.
this is information that they obviously know.
yes.
So and it's a bit of an irritation for me when a character says something out loud that they should already know.
Yes.
And find some other way to convey.
I might actually disagree with that because, like, a character would absolutely say that number because, like, look, what are the odds? Right? Like, saying the numbers, like saying lottery numbers again, right?
Well, but then it's kind of that same. I think what he's saying is that she would say, look, like the same numbers. She doesn't need to say the number
Yeah,
himself
yeah,
because we know she already knows the numbers and he knows the numbers.
yeah.
It's not bad enough to make me take me out of it, but it's just like,
0.1 million.
yeah, right. Is there any? Okay, so I since I could distinguish perfect, I have to address things other people didn't like.
Jared Leto
Because-
be in that.
No, because I have to imagine. Okay, Jared Leto. Let's talk about him. Everyone, I don't know if you know this, Ian, but there is a concerted movement to destroy Jared Leto's career.
I've heard a rumor because I don't know backstories of actors, and I've heard that Jared Leto is problematic or has been problematic.
Well, there's 3 things that are bad about him. A, he's not a good actor. B, he's a method actor and he stays in character on set. And like, if he's playing a character that like is in a wheelchair, then he has to be in a wheelchair for 3 weeks. If he's playing the Joker, then he has to be a psychopath for 5 weeks. The third thing that's really bad about him is that multiple people have accused him of sexual assault. That's the worst.
Yeah.
Like
Was he method acting? Like,
I know, right? So he's an asshole in every way imaginable. And on top of that, he's not even good on camera. Like, he's not terrible in this movie, but he's slightly overacting, I found.
I feel like he's slightly overacting. I found him to be a little bit more of a menacing and interesting villain than like the last Blade Runner. Because like the villain is either the one replicant, like the leader replicant that they had within the
Rutger Hauer.
or it's the creator or whatever. It's like depending on how you view it. And either way, like if you think the villain is the rogue replicant, it's like, well, like he's like a very troubled man. Like, I don't know, like is he really the villain? He just wants to live his life, or if it's like the creator, it's like, well, he's not really present in the movie that much, and like he's not that intimidating. He like plays chess with a guy.
Well, I guess it's the Okay, readers, viewers, I didn't rewatch Blade Runner. I don't remember the name of the character. I'm sorry. The guy with the glasses in the first movie, he is like the equivalent of Jared Leto, and Rutger Hauer is the equivalent of the girl on this.
Yeah.
Rutger Hauer is like 10 out of 10.
Oh, he's so good.
So
like,
good.
I just don't know if he's like truly evil at part.
No, you're right. You're totally right. It's not even. You're totally right. But since we're on him, let's talk about the girl in this movie. She was so good, I thought. And like a femme fatale, but also because she starts out so unassuming and then she just...
Well, also like complicated. Like you keep waiting for something to happen with her because she keeps like having these emotional outbursts at things, like not intensely.
Good point.
She keeps like tearing up at like a lot of these things. Like you think she should. And
Good
like
point.
keep waiting for something to break in her.
I thought she was the born replicant.
Oh,
Oh, okay, interesting.
I thought, like, I'm like, that would be very, because like
just imagine just being on your doorstep the whole time that you're looking for it, and it's sitting in the room with you, and no one knows, right? I was like, that would be an excellent twist, right? I'm very happy with how the twist played out at the end, but I think that's an excellent twist in there, right?
Sure.
I had a few moments where I was saying the exact same.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
And it seems to fit just because it mirrored what Kay was going through. Right? He was coming to this realization that maybe it's him, right? And then for it to be like, maybe it's actually the person who wants him.
Yeah, looking for right.
And I was looking in the scene where the fake Rachel comes in. I was like, there's enough similarities. There's enough similarities that I can go, yeah, no, like this is where you kind of do that reveal, right? And then Jarla kills, what's his name? Right? Decker, right? And then goes from there, right?
Sure.
So,
well, I don't remember what I thought the first time, but I mean, that's good that there was multiple people that could have been the child or whatever. But what I like about her is that the first time you see her, like, you don't know anything about her. She's just like the secretary almost.
Yeah.
And then the more we see her with Jared Leto, she's treated like a second-class citizen, right? However, when I saw the scene of her getting her nails done, and the whole time operating that,
Dropping bombs.
yeah, that is a very excellent analogy of, I think it's like modern warfare, where, you know, American military can sit here within American borders and just operate drones to go kill innocent people while, you know, they sit and literally get their nails done, right?
there's a thing in professional video game circles where someone will be really good at video games and then they drop off the map and most people go, now he's a drone operator. Oh, like that's a real thing that they scout esports for.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's depressing.
So yeah, so this movie is, like, as we said, touching on a lot of different things. Okay, so we're talking about the actors here. So we talked about the two bad guys. We got to talk about Ryan Gosling. Okay,
That's so good.
right? Okay, so we were talking earlier before the movie that I first grew to love Ryan Gosling when I saw Drive. Okay,
Yeah.
I saw a whole bunch of good movies. So when this movie came out, it was like the culmination of everything. I think he is perfect for this movie. Champion, what do you think?
He was spectacular.
Yeah.
He was spectacular. You could feel his emotion every step of the way. You could feel his confusion
Right.
as the mystery started to evolve. And it was down there right here.
Yep.
Yeah. He was so good.
You both feel his emotion, but you see his coldness, right? Of being like you'll see him just kind of sitting there in like a dark room, just like blank face, but you feel the emotion, right? But it is still that like cold replicant that is in front of you, right? Or that they want you to see, right?
That's a good point. He's putting on the show.
Yeah.
It's almost like you're watching him melt at the
Yeah.
same time.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh yeah, no.
I think you want to talk about Ryan Gosling.
He's so good. I'm like a new like true like Ryan Gosling truther. Like I like and he's been like good or whatever. And I'm seeing it. I'm like, oh yeah, he's good in that movie. But like everybody's like, oh, what do you think about Ryan Gosling? I'm like, I don't know, like whatever. He's a Hollywood pretty boy. Like I don't know.
Right.
And then we saw
And you also saw Barbie as well.
I also saw Barbie, and he was very good in Barbie too. And I saw Project Hail Mary, and I was like, oh my god, Mr. Gosling. And now I'm like a full truther. Like anything that he's like, I'm like, he's so good. He's so good in everything.
I think there's an accusation that Ryan Gosling is not doing anything. He's not really acting. But if you watch this movie, there are moments in the movie where he's got this expression on his face where he's like glaring.
Yeah.
I don't remember, like there's a certain part where he just has this look like you can, it's like you said, he's stoic and he's hiding, but it's coming through.
It's hard. So you have to like double out, like you have to be an android and a person with emotions at the same time, like an android.
Yeah.
Right? It's like you have to do like the Mr. Data, right?
Right.
If you're an android, but you're also experiencing these emotions. Like, have you triggered these emotional responses from an audience if you like don't really have emotion. You got to figure out a way to do it.
No.
There's one little scene that's going to live up here forever. And it is where he goes to see the person who's making the memory. And they're all, and is this real? Is this real? Someone lived this memory.
Yeah.
And he thinks that it's his real memory.
Yeah.
And whose is it? And he screams all like,
Yeah. It fits all the things that justify true belief, right? Like he thinks it is true. He is justified in believing it's true. And there's evidence for him being true, right? So for all intents and purposes, that is knowledge, right?
Yeah.
But what we didn't anticipate is that was, spoilers, her knowledge, right?
And also the fact that just in that scene, she starts crying too, because she realizes something's afoot. It's so, and then it's not until you see it going to the end, you realize why she was crying. It's incredible. Right. And then also, I just love, like, I'm watching this movie for like the 10th time. This movie takes its time and lets everything breathe.
Oh,
Right? Right. Remember when he's investigating, he goes to that thing and discovers all the kids, the child labor.
this walk.
Yes, and he's walking through, and he sees that factory, right? And he's
Look at
like,
all these kids.
exactly,
Feel it.
his long shots, and then when he's like, "Wait a minute, I remember this," and the camera just follows him walking through,
Yeah.
slowly going, and finds that part where he hit the horse, and he pulls it out, and they spend so much time with it in his hand, and then they cut to a close up. He rubs the dirt off.
The score is a really.
Oh my!
Doesn't really have any like songs or music.
Right.
It's just like it just building tension every single scene. So good. Just feeling it. Just atmosphere.
I gotta say something about the score. Apparently, it was a whole score composed by someone else. I don't know, okay, because I don't do research. But then, like 2 weeks before the movie came out, they're like, "We don't like this score."
Whoa.
Okay, who do we got? What do we got? Let's get the most wanted man in Hollywood, Hans Zimmer. You know Hans Zimmer, he's right. Hans, what can you give us for, like Tuesday?
Oh God.
He wrote this like,
Bass tone.
the weird.
Yes.
I can give you bass tones.
That's why there's no songs. It's like, okay, like we're gonna here's the tone.
Exactly, but it's odd. Like not only is there that yeah, and so at the whole movie, but there's also the parts where, like, like the flying cars are like. I remember the first time I watched it with my brother, we looked at each other like, this is fucking crazy. Now we know he was rushed, but he probably also like pulled out all the stops. Like, I gotta make this count. Like, we're doing help out. Yeah, exactly.
the score of this film is the heartbeat.
Yes.
Like it's one of the lifeblood.
Yeah,
Like, I feel like
it holds it
there's
together.
no like strong melodies that I could hum, but it doesn't need it. It doesn't need like a song.
Right.
Like it just needs like feeling, like depth,
Right.
intensity.
Music conveys an awful lot of emotion. This reaches a little bit deeper, I think. Like, this gets you something visceral about it. I mean, like, it transcends music in a way.
Yeah.
It's almost as though it's the sound of the world.
Well, it's also it's the journey, because there's a part of the movie where I don't remember exactly what it is, because there's a setup for Joe. It's almost like the moment where they don't know where he is. It might be when the bad girl loses track.
He like breaks the thing.
No, but it's like that. Hard cuts to him walking, and it's like the music just hits right when he's walking into the mist. Yes,
Yeah.
right there. It's like you said, Ian. The shot is beautiful, the music, and it's like, now he's going into like the mystery. He's got to investigate.
And he's dragging his credit card.
Yes, exactly. And I remember at that point thinking, oh my God, we haven't even gotten to Harrison Ford yet. How long is this movie? This is incredible. And then he goes into this other world. It's fucking amazing, this movie. And that's what I mean. Like, forget the fact that it's sci-fi. Forget the fact that it's a sequel. This is a real story. Like, this is, I'm just supposed to do a movie.
Well, like a sequel, and like Harrison Ford is in it, and he's in the original, but also doesn't like rely on Harrison.
Yes, which is so nice.
Right.
That's why I said this is one of the best sequels ever made, because Empire Strikes Back is one of the best sequels ever made as well. but it does not do member berries. Now, I'll go back and watch it. There's no callbacks. The only callback is, I got a bad feeling about this. That's it. And can you imagine if this movie, Blade Runner 2049, came out and they were like, it's all going to be lost like tears and rain, right, guys? Like, let's just do all these callbacks.
Like, you got some more like little people to like be like animatronic.
Exactly. Right, something. Yeah, exactly.
It's just like that other movie.
Fuck that. No, they did this movie right, I don't know. We talk, okay, none of the music. Okay, remember I said, you were going to talk about...
I got something that's on my mind. Okay. So the ending, right? The fighting in that dam, the pool area, right? All right, but have you thought about what the fight means? I don't want to be like esoteric about it, but right?
Let's be minor, guys.
One of my movie buff friends said he didn't like that scene. I loved it.
So think about it. They are the second-class citizens fighting for air, the most human thing that we need, right? One is choking the other out, one is drowning the other, right? And they're seeing who is the best one, right? Who is the one the most deserving of being a human, right?
Okay, very profound.
Right? And it's just it's very interesting to see that aspect of it, right? Where you're just they're fighting for this air, right? Who is the best human? What makes a human worth anything? What is this value of a soul, right? And I think the movie gets to it of the good deeds that we did, right? Because at the end, he dies reuniting the father and daughter, right? And it cuts there because it doesn't fucking matter.
Okay.
Right?
Well, that's interesting. Well, I also, because I was thinking about that too, because when a movie is this perfect, you kind of, here's the thing about, when sometimes people watch movies, they're like, this sucks, man. It's stupid. When you watch a movie by a director that you know is good and a writer that you know is good, then whenever there's an element maybe you don't understand it or you don't even quite understand it, you kind of go, well, they probably meant something by it. Yeah. I just don't get it yet. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with not getting everything.
That's me and Boo, but
the first, that's fun.
My favorite thing to do after watching a movie usually is to go on YouTube and watch someone talk about it.
It's like me with David Legend. I do it for every David Legend. There's nothing wrong with that. But for this movie, I was doing the same thing. I was thinking, okay, what does this mean? Personally, I thought maybe this is almost like a primordial thing. Because, all life comes from water on Earth.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking it's also interesting that there's never a wide shot. There's always the shot of them looking down and you just see this little thing and these little people fighting this little thing. I don't know. It was almost like the womb, like they're fighting in the womb.
Yeah.
That's how I kind of thought.
And afterwards, I saw the water as very cleansing afterwards. I like it, right? Cleaning off what has just happened, right?
Sure.
And seeing what the good that will come from it.
Yeah. I mean, absolutely.
Yeah.
But it could also be a subconscious thing. It could mean things that the writer didn't even intend.
Yeah.
But it's amazing anyway. Okay, so remember earlier how I said I have to address other people's complaints because I don't get it. Okay. So another one I just watched today because my algorithm read my mind and it knew I was going to watch Blade Runner tonight. And it showed me this video of this woman complaining about the cinematography in this film. Okay. Now, Richard Deakins? Yes. Yes,
I'm going to say you don't do research.
Yeah, I don't do research, but it's Richard Deakins. Does it? Must be. He's the most famous cinematographer currently working in Hollywood, okay? However, everyone knows that Ridley Scott is the best visual director, right? He did Alien, he did Blade Runner, he did Legend.
He produced this film as well.
He also produced this film, but he didn't do the cinematography.
Yeah, no. I'm just saying that he was
but
still
he is the most visual director probably the past 50 years. We can all agree on that. But Richard Deakins is also a good cinematographer, and Denis Villeneuve is also a good director. And we all agree that the visuals are good in this movie. But what this woman pointed out, she specifically pointed to the scene of Deckard in his apartment in the original film. And, color here, the color there, and blah, blah, blah. And remember how in the original film, the light would kind of come in and go out constantly?
Oh, yeah.
Which is cool. But she was complaining about how in this movie, when he goes to his apartment, it's flat lighting and it's dull colors, it's this, that, and the other. And I was paying attention to this movie, and I think you could argue that the lighting is flatter. Like when Ryan Gosling goes to the casino thing and he sees Deckard and they're sitting at the bar talking, it's a very flat color scheme. Like it's a reddish and brownish, and that's it. It's kind of like, yeah, but it's still better than everything else.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're in a different location. You know?
But if you judge the movie overall, even if it's not as good as the original, it's still better than just about everything I could think of. I don't know. What do you think, Ian?
I'd say it is it's the original's peer at the very least.
Yeah.
I didn't see anything wrong with cinematography. Right. Talking about like the lighting in some of these scenes, there was a lot of movement in the lighting that I thought was very striking. Earlier in this film, there was some very, very long shadows in some of these rooms that were moving almost imperceptibly slow. Right. You'd see like light coming in through a window and you would just cast a longer and longer shadow. And I mean, nothing that really, and this is like, if you want to go as far with it as the original film did, it might track. And I think that a lot of what this movie did, it did subtle. Yeah, it did it without drawing too much attention to itself.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, also, like, they want to have interesting stuff with the lighting, but they don't want to do every single same thing they just did in the old.
Good, right?
They're like, oh, we did something in this, so let's do it again. Like, no, they want to take inspiration. It's like when you're like doing your eyebrows, like you gotta think the sisters, not twins. That's what you say. You know, sisters, not twins. That's because you want resemblance, but you don't want them to be identical because it's gonna feel weird if it's identical.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
And okay, and the other thing I'll add to that is, while Ridley Scott is one of the best visual directors, if not the best, he just crosses the line into slight, like, I won't call it self-indulgence, but even in the first Alien, which we watched, did you guys watch Alien with us? I see it. It's a great movie.
You don't like scary.
Okay, it's a beautiful movie, but he just crosses into like he'll do things for the sake of visual beauty that like there's a scene in Alien where a character walks into a room and he has chains hanging from the ceiling and then rain coming down, and the people on the crew were like, why would they be chained in a spaceship in the 20 whatever century? Why would they be green? Oh, it looks good. And it does look good. But you don't question it, but when you think about it, you go, this doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and then you question why the actor looks the rain on his face and he likes it.
Right.
You don't know what that is.
Yeah. It just
creepy but weird.
And so he also did it in the movie, what's the movie with, there was a baseball. Oh, you know what? Sorry, it might have been his brother. His brother's Tony Scott, who directed Top Gun. But it was the Fan with Robert De Niro, where there was a baseball scene and he wanted to have it raining. And I'm not blaming Ridley, it was Tony, but he wanted to have it rain. Everyone in the crew was like, baseball games, maybe you know this again. If there's rain in a baseball game, they cancel the game, correct?
Well, they postpone it.
They postpone it.
Yeah, they pause it.
But in this movie, they kept it going because he wanted the rain in the scene. And so that's an example of the Scott family ignoring reality.
Logic.
Yeah, logic to make things look visual. But that's a little aside. We can jump from that. Any other thought the cinematography, Lord Ian?
No. Again, I haven't seen the first one, so it's hard for me to compare, right? And this one was fine. Like, having flat apartment lights happens in cheap apartments.
That's it. Okay, true. But
right,
this is a movie, and they can do what they want.
They can do what they want, but like you can wave that away so quickly, right?
Right.
Especially when you're talking about that scene that the one was talking about in Deckard's apartment. It's flat and the red and yellow. Well, it's dusty and red and yellow. Man, that's what it looked like outside.
Yeah,
and I thought that was very effective.
The only thing I will say, there was one part in the movie, because in the original film, like we all kind of agree, we don't remember the plot, we remember the visuals. And in the original movie, the scene where Deckard is ordering noodles and he's sitting, everyone loves that scene. There's steam coming out everywhere, and and then remember when the cops corner him, they're standing behind him. The camera never does a wide shot, as far as I remember. It's just him sitting there eating the noodles and we're talking to him. And I remember saying this to my friend Jordan. The difference with the original film is it looks like it's almost like a documentary. Like this is a documentary about a real place in the future, and we're just seeing a little tiny frame of it. Whereas in this film, it's slightly more stagey.
It's true. He's a little bit more bigger. They're trying to get that screen grab for like every.
Yeah, which is okay, but it's like it's not like, again, Ridley Scott is a master, and so is Denis Villeneuve, but in a different way. So I'll give him that. Like the original has that one up on the side, but this one's still better. Sorry, guys. Yeah, this is better. I mean, we could talk about this all night. We all agree the plot, like it just, again, when he said it just was just a detective, like
it's a story that like does like you on the edge of your chair. Like it has questions in your mind. They're constantly thinking like, who's the kid? Like what's going on? Like what's doing all this stuff? Like what's going to happen next? Where the original doesn't really have that. There's no questions in your mind for the most part.
I agree. I want to see, this is one of those movies that makes you want to see more movies that are like it. So obviously I love film noir. There's a genre I want to get into, which is Nordic noir. I don't know anything about Nordic noir, but I have it written down on my movie list because I'd like
That'd be like,
because
would that be Golden Eye Tattoo?
probably in that direction.
Yeah.
I still think you're Nordic and noir combined together. I know it's got to be good. Okay, that's it.
But if it is, you should check out the, I think it's the Swedish versions of Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, Girl Play with Fire, and the Girl Who Kicked the Hornet's Nest.
Who do you think it's on? First,
Perfect.
Yeah, they're awesome. Yeah, they're awesome. Yeah, but there's more. There's more in that direction. But I'm gonna say TV shows, movies. Like that's my next thing to tackle. You know what I mean? So yeah, I don't know what to say about this movie. If you are a fan of the original and you refuse to watch it, or you started it and didn't finish it, please finish it, because we all agree it's better.
Yeah, I do want to talk about like the one thing that I've heard people talk about. So in the first movie, they end the movie with this like open-ended question about if Decker was a replicant.
Yes.
Because they give him this memory of this unicorn, and then they make him the unicorn origami.
Yes.
It's like, oh, was he a replicant? And then this movie sort of undoes that question at all, where they say, no, he was.
But actually, I think they still leave it vague.
I did catch that as well, because I thought everyone said they're like, oh, they undo it. But there's one line that like...
Yeah, because Jared Leto, when he's talking to him, Jared Leto was trying to imply that...
He said something about like making for the moment.
Yeah, he basically, Jared Leto says, didn't you find it funny that you fell in love with Rachel? Doesn't it seem like you were basically programmed to? And then Deckard says, I know what's real, what is, or something like that. And basically, that's his character affirming that he's real, but we still don't know for sure, right?
Yeah. So like after like watching just the first Blade Runner and the questions like, was Decker a replicant? Most people would say like, I think he was, because the movie put down a lot of like solids about it. After watching this movie, do you think Decker's...
Do I think?
Yeah.
I still think he is. I still think he is, because I have to point out something.
Yeah.
That you're specifically referring to the final cut.
Yeah.
And the director's cut. Yes. Not the theatrical cut or the international cut or the cut that he showed his buddies. Okay. So his movie would change. But I no, not really. I still think I personally think he's a replicant. Yeah.
Yeah, even though he's like, he lived like a little bit of a longer life.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, because the time span was 4 years.
Yeah.
That was the whatever. But I do think they hint, and they say in this movie that some of them have a longer lifespan, right? So I'm just assuming he has a longer lifespan.
Yeah.
Chanting, what do you think?
I think he's a replicant. In fact, like the fact that it's his kid, I think that tracks, right? Like,
sure.
You had a kid with a replicant, he can be a replicant too. And if both male and female replicants can have kids, it throws the world into chaos.
Right.
It does. That opens up this whole can of worms. I think the movie sort of reads a little bit better. You look at it from the standpoint that he is a replicant. But that'd be a contrarian.
I think he is a person because why Joe Leto's character didn't have any success with the breeding program is because he was just doing replicant with replicants. Right. So adding the real human element to it, that might be the thing that changes it, right?
It's a secret sauce.
Gross. Right? Right. So, but the Jared Leto's character wouldn't do that because he sees that as like against humanism and whatever bullshit that he justifies his position over theirs, right? So, right, but then they tried it because they loved each other, and then boom, we have someone who makes that race.
Yeah, that's something that I thought as well.
Yeah.
I also think that Harrison Ford is too wrinkly in this movie to make me believe that a person created in a lab. No person created in a lab would not age with that many wrinkles.
Right. I mean, yeah, he does look rough, but it's been a while.
Well, so did Farmer Guy.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah, he looks
Yeah, well, I don't know. I think Harrison Ford looks great, but I wouldn't find
Could you say that environment would change them regardless? Because it still sells, right? Because both of them are in both extreme environments, right?
Yeah.
Right. So they would age a little more rapidly.
If you just show me a photo of old Harrison Ford and you said, this guy was made in a lab, I'd say, I don't think so.
Okay, here's my last question. If everything in this movie means something and everything symbolizes something, what does Elvis mean?
You're in Vegas, baby.
Did you think about that? Why focus so much on Elvis? I mean, it's just they show Elvis and they show Frank Sinatra. Is it just a general reference to things?
Yeah, I think they just want like retro, like dancey stuff.
Okay.
They have like Elvis and Marilyn Monroe, and they're like just like big stuff.
Okay.
Party people.
Yeah.
But like, who's a party for people that specifically in retro?
Because I was wondering if it's something specific about Elvis, but I couldn't. A rack on brand, I couldn't think of it.
No, okay. Like who's like who would say with like a show broad?
Yeah, I really just think they're just trying to like set up. This was Vegas. This was Las Vegas, right? We're in the desert, right? A nuke happened, right? Area 51 didn't go so well, right? And now it's uninhabitable. But they had all these retro acts from before, right?
Sure.
Sinatra did residency. Elvis did residency, and if you like both of them, you're most likely going to like Marilyn.
You know,
There's a theory. Let's see.
No, I had no theory. No, I tried to. I couldn't think of anything, other than the fact that maybe it was like Deckard's personal exile to there was like Elvis, because Elvis was like a rebel, and then he was like, and then he kind of like petered out, and then he was like, well, I guess I'll do Vegas. And they give him like probably $1 billion contract, but just the fact that this guy who helped create rock and roll kind of like lives out the last years of his life out in Vegas.
In theory.
That
Just made it connecting yourself.
maybe, I don't know.
Go.
Yeah, it could be.
That's what it means.
But here's the other thing too, is that, damn, I said another good idea. Damn it, it'll come back to me. Maybe it won't. I don't know. But I just think that, I think the cool thing about movies like this is when everything is so focused and so organized that you can analyze everything. Because when movies are messy and sloppy and all over the place, you kind of just go, I don't know. But that's one of the things I love about this film.
Yeah.
It's so measured and well paced and concise and I've seen, I think, every Denis Villeneuve film that's available to watch. I've seen them all, and this could be his best. I think it's better than Doom. Like, I like the Doom film, but this is better than Doom.
No. I'm a Doom truther.
He loves Doom.
Okay, that's fine. But I do like this movie. Yeah, I have a lot to say about it. I've seen this movie many, many times. When I came home from watching the movie, I don't listen to soundtracks ever. But this soundtrack went onto my YouTube playlist, and I listened to every day at work for like an entire year. Yep.
They must have thought you were a weirdo.
They probably did. Yes, they did. Yep.
See, like, I feel like his soundtrack was good. I don't know if I could listen to it out of context. I feel like I'd be having it in my earbuds, and some person oh, what are you listening to? And I'm like, I'm listening to alien space sound.
Yeah, that's just this is another. Like I think this thing where I was pulling up to a red light, pounding him.
You roll your window down. You're like, hey, what's up?
Driving like 30 miles an hour. Your heart is erased. Oh, God.
Oh, okay. So I don't think we have anything else to say. This has been a great discussion. I think we should do more movies like this. Maybe we can do some Nordic noir in the future, right? Maybe.
We have you coming up the calendar?
I mean, I've never even seen one of them, so I don't know. But
You got to check it out. I mean,
yeah. I'll let you. I'll pick the best ones.
Does Fargo count as a mouth?
It's a Nordic. It's a noir. Yeah, that's coming on. That'd be a good review. Yep. We want to do more of those, specifically set this stuff.
Here
Yep.
on Wednesdays.
That's right. Every Wednesday, unless we skip a Wednesday.
Which we're skipping.
What's a skipping?
Next week.
Yep. And then
We have Fargo.
it was just a break. We already have Uncut Gem.
Uncut Gems.
But
It should have been Click.
Punch Drunk Love. Yeah.
We should do more PTA though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's in the pipeline. Trust me. It's in the pipeline. Absolutely. We want to thank Champion for hosting Movie Night most Wednesdays. Right?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Is there for every other Wednesday this month?
That's right.
Do the one we can.
That's right. We want to thank Lorianne for joining us. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
for having me.
That's right. First time seeing Movie Night
Yes.
design. And we want to thank our crossover guest, Heather. Thank you for joining
I was
us.
talking about Star Trek.
Yeah,
We did.
I brought it around some.
That's right.
Trust me.
You always tie it together. Yeah.
Always.
All of our episodes are available at comicbooksyndicate.com and youtube.com. Until the next time,